Hello, we're going to do some Pythagorean Theorem today. This should be some review for you, so I'm going to move rather quickly here. All right, the Pythagorean Theorem is best known using the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This works for right triangles. Here's a right triangle here. We call this a right triangle because you can see the arrow is pointed to a right angle. We know that right angles equal 90 degrees. Here's an example of a right triangle for you. About 2,500 years ago, a Greek mathematician named Pythagoras discovered a special relationship between the sides of right triangles. So what he realized is that if you have a right triangle and you take these two straight lines here and you square those two sides, what you find is when you add those together, you get the same number that you would get by squaring the other side. Let's see if this works. So I have 3 squared plus 4 squared. So if 3 squared equals 9, 4 squared equals 16. When I add those together, 9 plus 16 equals 25. If we look up here, 5 squared is indeed 25, so we can see that does work. This is true for any right triangle. So here I have another example. We would take 6 squared, which would give us 36. 8 squared, which gives us 64. We add those together. Does that equal 100? It does. 10 squared is 100, so again, this works out well. We call these two sides, which come together in right angles, we call these legs. We identify leg lengths using the variables a and b. We then have the side across from the right angle. This is called your hypotenuse. It's always at a diagonal, normally the longest piece. And we label the hypotenuse with the variable c. Let's look at an example here. I have the formula again written for you. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So if we know that a equals 33, b equals 100, we could square 33 to get 1,089. Square 100 to get 10,000. We add those together and we get 11,089, which equals c squared. But I don't want to know c squared. I want to know c. So in order to undo c squared, I'm going to take the square root of this number, 11,089, which is going to give me approximately 105.304. I say approximately, we have these squiggly lines because we are dealing with a decimal. Normally, your worksheets or your activities are going to give you a place they want you to round to. In this case, we have rounded to the nearest tenth, which gives us 105 and 3/10. Here's an example. I'd like you to pause and try this one on your own. So when we do that, we take 20 and we square that, 21 and we square that. So that gives us 400 plus 441 equals, and so then we would add those together and that equals 841. Again, the part people forget so often is to square this number, to take the square root of this number to undo the c squared. So the square root of 841 would give me 29. Here's another one for you to pause and try. 16 squared, it gives us 256. 63 squared gives us 3,969. I add those together and get 4,225. Again, that gives me c squared, but I want c, so I'm going to take the square root of 4,225, which is going to give us 65. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.